You're muted for whatever reason. There we go. Now we're starting.
What a
Weird.
rookie. What a rookie.
Welcome to the show, I guess. This is first and
We're going to practice lip reading today. Let's
Right?
go.
That's weird. I've never had it stay muted coming out of the intro. That is very strange. That being said, welcome in. we are here on Thursday, and of course, the ABS has been debuted, and man, it sure looks like it's here to stay because it's made the umps look terrible.
Well, it's been preseason, and I'm okay with them messing up in preseason. Get our stuff together. I have seen some really bad calls, like had one right down the middle, and they called it a ball, and he's like bag, 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 and then they show it, and it's dead center.
Yeah.
And that's like oof, that's a miss.
Yeah, and I would almost believe that argument if the play calling wasn't so bad the last couple of years, where we've seen balls get called strikes and vice versa. So I almost would believe that argument. And I think ABS is just saying what we've all been saying for the longest time, that these guys haven't been getting the calls right. They haven't for a long time.
Yeah.
So I still don't understand the ruling on how often you can challenge.
Yeah, so I haven't seen exactly how that lays out. But
I do like how they are very quick with the showing where it's at. Okay, we're going to do it. Okay, it invests like 5 to 7 seconds. That's it.
It's fast.
So I like that part. And then they're saying, okay, call overturned, or like I like the close calls are really close. And the fact that it can say, hey, you are 2 millimeters off, or you're touching in the very smallest amount. I like that. That's the thing about having it at 2-dimensional, because you're taking 1 point in time rather than multiple points in time. You're not doing it as hey, it just went in this very small area of a block. But I hope, because the one fear I have with this now is that, hey, you challenged one and you got it wrong, and now the umpire, because he knows you can't challenge another one, rings you up on an absolute ball.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, hey, you show me, I'm going to show you type of mentality. You think they could have at the plate?
It definitely could. Although the success rate of the of the batters and catchers has been pretty good. So.
Oh my Lord, Donna, how do you know how many away Flyers games I've gone to? I'm gonna address this right now. Somebody else said the same thing. First off, I go to many more wins than losses in general, for the Flyers, and I have gone to, literally, for away Flyers games, 3 in the last 5 years. And I'm 1-2.
But also 3 in the last 5 games. No.
Well, I'm going tonight too. So I don't care. You guys are it's tough. Like, listen, come join me. Come join me if you want to go there. If you think that your mojo is going to be better, then come out and join me. We'll figure it out together. Because me being there in the stands doesn't do anything with the play on the ice.
I think what Donna said is that they have a petition, and they're going to put it at the main gate of the stadium that says, if you see this painted guy, do not let him in.
Well, guess what? You know what? If that's the case, the away stadiums are going to all want me there, and they're going to invite me. They're going to fly me out there so that they can win those games. I know, Donna, I'm playing. But there was somebody last night who said the same exact thing. And it got me like, you know what? It's always the guys that are like, can't show their faces, that have cats as their profile picture. You know what I mean? That does that type of stuff.
Yeah, they got one follower.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Hey, listen, I am a grown man. I served my country. I raise a lot of money for charity. My resume is absolutely full. when you think that you can absolutely compare resumes with me, I might listen to you about telling me how to live my life. Till that point,
And, I can't say that I'm the mojo either way because I've been in enough games just this year that they've won a bunch, they've lost a bunch, and that's why their standings are the way they are.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I won't even watch any of my teams in the playoffs because I had that same way too. I'm very superstitious about that. I feel like when I watch, they do bad. When I don't watch, they do great. And so, yeah, I just watch highlights, to be honest with you, because I'm scared to watch them. I am very superstitious about that.
I'm not superstitious at all. I'm really not, and it's like, hey, listen, I'm there to cheer on my team,
Yeah.
and I'm there, like, listen, with 3 minutes left and they score that goal, I'm not booing them. I'm there, and I was literally right behind the bench. I went and I got row C, thinking that row C was 3 rows back because I don't want to sit right behind the bench. You can't see.
Right.
You're stuck looking at the guys back of the heads.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know any different because I've never been to that stadium like that. So there it is. Now I'm right behind there. So I'm watching them draw plays, which is kind of cool to do. You know what I mean? I get to see that part of it. I get to watch the guys getting frustrated with portions of their shifts. I got to see it in a different way. But after they scored that goal, I'm still cheering them on. I didn't hear no bell. This game ain't over yet. We still got some work to do. We can get this goal back. Like, it's like I'm not there to make them feel bad. I'm there to let them know that I'm supporting them. And that's, if they lose, it's not, like I said, I'm not on the ice. I can't make the goals.
No, and I mean that's
Yeah.
similar to I don't leave early. Like I'm there until there's triple zeros. We could be getting smoked. I'm still watching the game. Like I paid for my ticket to watch this game for 3 hours. Like
Growing up as a kid, how much I hated when my dad said, "Hey Jay, it's 7th inning. We got to go to the park." And I'm like, "Dad, there's 3 more innings left. What are we doing? I paid for a full 9. Why am I only getting 7?" But Dad said, "Shut up, Jay. There's traffic. I bet that traffic is right now. Get your ass in the car."
if you can't sit in traffic, don't go to the game.
I said the same thing, and my daddy backslid me.
Well, I mean, I think that was just an enjoyable element of going to the park, but but no, I mean, like I've never understood that people that'll leave no matter what, right? Like I've seen people leave and tie games. They're like, "Oh, we got to beat the traffic." It's like you might as well have just watched it at home. Like, why spend the money and the time to get down here and the food and all of this to have to listen to it on the radio on your drive home? Like that. Yeah, that's never made sense to me.
I will tell you, Bo, the Astrodome back in the day, it really was a logistical nightmare to get home. I remember we would leave in the 7th inning, and I wouldn't get home until maybe a little bit after 1 a.m., and we would just sit there and sit there and sit there. Oh, my God, it was horrible. It was like watch a paint dry for an hour and a half.
So we have one of those here in the Seattle area. It's called the White River Amphitheater, and the venue's cool, right? Sound is good. There's one way in and one way out. And not only is it a long way away from everything already, but it's a 2-lane road in and out. Like it is a nightmare. I've watched a couple of shows there, and as soon as I'm like, "Oh man, this is a show I kind of want to see," and then I'll see it says White River, I'm like, I don't want to see it that bad. Like, so yeah, it's so I get it. Like some of them, but I'm still not going to leave a concert early or something like that. Like I know it's going to be a pain.
Yeah,
it's built into it when I'm headed there. So I just look at it as worst case. When I'm covering rugby, their parking lot is ridiculous. Also, it's one way in, one way out, and it shares a parking lot with a whole bunch of soccer fields and stuff. So, like, you could be sitting there forever. So after I'm done covering a rugby game, I'll jump in my truck and I'll start editing my stuff because I know I'm not going anywhere. So I'll just sit in my parking spot, turn the truck on, and start editing videos because what, I'm going to pull out and then keep sitting there? Like, who cares?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's why I don't mind, like when I do stuff and I go to venues I know that have really long parking situations or whatever, I drive to the venue and then I let the wife drive home and I just take a nap. And I wake up and I'm in my garage. That's pretty good. Yeah. But anywho, you hear Max Crosby. I don't know if you guys heard it. If you don't mind, Bo, I saw this today or this morning. I think I saw it. The Raiders want 2 picks and a player. They want the same Micah Parsons deal that went between Dallas and Green Bay. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, so I did. They're not going to get that. But basically, like, everybody's for sale for the right price, right? Like, this is football. If somebody wanted to come after your star player with 3 number ones, you're like, you know what? I mean, okay. Like, so I mean, it's, there's no way, like, nobody's giving that up for Max. It didn't sound like Max really wanted to leave anyway. So, but again, for the right price, anybody can get moved.
Are you saying that because you think maybe Max, his age, or you say maybe Max, his performance just isn't worthy of 2 picks and a player? Like, what are we basing that on?
I think it's it's the 2 picks and the caliber of player that they want. Not to say that he's not worth it, but the teams that can do it aren't that position away from winning, right? So it's not just, hey, can I go get this guy? It's, does he make a big enough impact to make this work? So, like, Micah Parsons made sense when Green Bay did it, right? Because they're like, hey, you know what? We need this element. The rest of our team is good. We're a playoff caliber team. Let's make this happen. Whereas if you're doing it at this point in the year, you still have the draft. There's other free agency options. Like, there's still too much at your disposal to want to give up that kind of haul for a guy that, you know, again, if you're that close, you can probably still go draft a guy, or, you know, so it's a timing difference. And then, I mean, age, I guess, comes into it a little bit too, but you can't win, you can't get into the playoffs today. Right. So making that kind of move doesn't help your team a ton to give up that kind of draft capital.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like to see Dallas pull that, but I know our cap space would be killed. Was what he's going to want financially. That's why I kind of feel like I can get a pretty good player. Like I was telling you earlier, if we use those picks, we can trade up. If we can get Bain, get him at a cheap deal because he's on his rookie deal, and then slide him right in there, and he would have a really good impact as well at a much lesser price and more. He'd be younger.
Well, and you have more years, and that's my point. Right. Is you can go get some guys now once the draft is done and rosters are a little more clear of what they're going to be, then you might see some people, you know, making a push to go get Crosby, something like that. So that'll be the question, right? Is, does somebody want to, after the draft and everything, like, okay, we like where our roster is now, do we make that move? I still don't think so. You know, it didn't sound like Crosby was itching to get out of there now that there's a lot of changes there.
Right.
That division starts to shift a little bit with Mahomes being injured. And, you know, this next year is going to be the Broncos' best shot at it before they have to start paying people. The Chargers are the Chargers. So, I mean, you know, if you're looking at turning the Raiders around over the next 2 years, they can be very competitive in their division. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. If they're willing to bring him back, though, I would say he probably comes back. It's always good to try and defend a championship. Now,
and let's be honest, D-Law actually had a really.
If you win 2, you do the John Elway route and you wrap it up.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, hey, look, D-Law. Obviously, I've seen D-Law a long time in Dallas, and I thought the version of D-Law that you guys had on your team was a much more invigorated, a much more invested D-Law into the team, into the defense. I mean, I thought that was a really good season for him, and I don't know why he'd retire when he still plays, you know, at a pretty good level.
Well, especially in a system that works, right? Because he's got talent around him. So, again, you know, if he does, I get it. You go out on top, not mad at it. But defending a championship's always good too. Now, after the second one, I mean, no one's won 3 in a row. So if you wanted to hang it up then, that makes some sense.
It really does, though. Absolutely.
You ever get up and get in the wrong gear? That would be hilarious, actually.
That would be.
I have not, but and so to answer the question, why am I in Phillies face paint? So actually this morning I had to I started off my morning in Eagles face paint to do a commercial for them, or do a commercial for me, actually, as I'm getting together this charity poker tournament at the NFL draft. And then I switched over into Phillies because I had to make a commercial for the Darren Dalton Foundation celebrity bartending event that's happening on March 8th down in Clearwater, Florida. So the reason why I'm in face paint at all is because I started at 7:00 in the morning thinking that I could be done by like 9:30, shower, and be able to come on to the show without face paint on. That did not work out the way I wanted it to, and ultimately I'm going to shower after the show because I also have to get painted up in Flyers gear again tonight because I'm going up to Madison Square Garden for the first time tonight ever.
Wearing all that face paint, how do you keep your skin so perfect?
I'm Italian.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Don't let him lie to you. It's camera filters. Let's be real.
And to answer Joe's question, there has been a time where I started my outline in the wrong color. Like, I sometimes I have to make lines to be able to paint in, and work that out. So it's always the right color pencil that I need. So I'll either use a black, a blue, or a red, depending on where I'm going. Sometimes with the white doesn't show real well, but that's not a big deal. There's times where I've started with the wrong colored pencil and then realize I'm like, wrong team. So I am not infallible, as they say.
Yeah. No, that'd be easy enough to do.
Yeah. And Joe understands. We, as Italians, it's like it's the olive oil in the skin.
That's right.
He's got a wife that he knows. He's like, she doesn't have to do much. She's just like naturally beautiful.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. In fact, speaking of my wife, since we went that route, Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano, a fight that should have happened a decade ago, is coming to Netflix on March 10th. And funny enough, it was one of the first dates when I first started dating my wife. We went to a Ronda Rousey fight at a sports bar. So might have to go hit up that sports bar again for this one some 13 years later. And but interesting that this fight comes together again, at least a decade past when we would have liked to have seen this fight.
Right. Yeah. And is this just, I'm assuming this is you think this is just a one-off fight for Ronda, or do you think she's trying to get back into the sport at a more
No, this is a cash grab. The promotion is actually Jake Paul, and this isn't a UFC sanctioned thing, although that is surprising because the UFC has become very gimmicky over the last couple of years, trying to keep their viewership up. They're having a fight at the White House. And I mean, so like they're doing those types of things. So I'm actually a little bit surprised they didn't get on board with this. They approached the UFC first and they didn't seem to have a ton of interest. So this ends up going to Netflix, which, is fine. But, again, it lets you know that these sports aren't doing as well as they once were when they keep bringing back people that have been retired for like a while.
Right. I really do feel like boxing has really taken a huge step back over the decades, and I'm assuming maybe the UFC had a lot to do with it, that maybe people are kind of steering away from boxing, getting more into UFC style of fighting. I don't know, but it just seems like it's kind of gone down a little bit.
Well, and I mean, we're not even talking about boxing here. This is the UFC that we're talking about. Like this is MMA, and it's also struggling a little bit. And yeah, I mean, there's some storylines like WWE, but the product is watered down is the issue.
Right.
It used to be that you could follow these stars and like it was a thing, and now it's just kind of, you don't know who half the fighters are anymore. And so, unfortunately, it's watered down a bit.
Yeah. And it seems like a lot of the big name fighters, at least that I remember, are, obviously are aging out of the sport. And now you're getting a new crop of them that are coming in. I just don't know many of them, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't have the same pull that it did.
Right.
Now, some of that is just the UFC's been around a long time now. It's not as new as it once was.
And so
no.
Unfortunately, as I think about it like that, as we're talking about this, boxing in its heyday, the boxers boxed.
Yes.
And they would fight each other. It wouldn't be positioning. Everything is about positioning right now. And that's part of the problem. Like, that's why you see, like with these bare knuckle boxing fights, all right. So the first time that they had it in Philly, it was like knockout city. Everybody was getting knocked out in those fights. Well, this time around, everybody was kind of positioning. Now, when you're boxing, gloves, no gloves, whatever, doesn't really matter. Like, if you're boxing defensive, you are going to last a lot longer. So and that's what it is. Everybody's being defensive. Well, I get it because it is fighting and you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to put yourself out there and have the one hit gotten on you where you're posterized, for something like that.
It also makes your career last longer if you're not getting lit up constantly too.
Correct. But the problem also on the other side is that it becomes a little meh.
Yeah. The Mayweather fights were awful. Watching him put his shoulder up and play defense the whole time, you're just like, yeah, I get it. It's going the distance. Awesome. You're going to win by bullets, right? Like, you missed the Mike Tyson's Holyfields where you're just like, obviously that's a heavyweight fight, but I mean, they were there playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots, right? Like, they're just there until the head pops. And
well, I mean, if you go back, even in his weight class, in Floyd's weight class, if you go back a decade or two, back to Leonard and Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hitman Hearns, those guys could play defensively, but they had a very good, strong offensive game as well because they were so lightning fast. And I wonder if Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime went up against Mayweather in his prime, that I feel like Sugar Ray Leonard could have beat him.
Without a doubt. So, and the reason being is that, I mean, the one thing about Sugar Ray Leonard is that he had bricks as hands.
Yeah.
So when you are using your shoulder as defense, eventually, like he could punch through that.
Right.
So he's going to graze off your shoulder and still hit your head, and it's still going to hurt. Where like you are hitting somebody and you're hitting the shoulder, and 50% of the blow gets deflected on the shoulder. Well, 50% of a blow of Sugar Ray Leonard's hands still gonna hurt.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of some of the difference. These guys that were like Hagler, Hearns, when you think of Mickey Ward versus Gotti, you know what I mean? Like those were like really good fights. Oscar De La Hoya and like they got Macho Camacho, where they would like throw 1,000 punches in a boxing match. You don't have that anymore. You're lucky that even in a flyweight, you're getting somebody who can, 300 or 400 punches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like that. It's like you just get worn out at 1,000 punches because they don't train that way anymore.
Yeah.
See, I'm not going to say anything like that because, I've seen that commercial where you talk some mess and then they show up at your house and beat you up.
Exactly.
You know who else had really, really strong hands, honestly, Pags, was Roberto Duran.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember a friend of mine he down here, he Termite Watkins was his name. For you don't know, Termite was his name. And he was a professional boxer. He was going to box in the Olympics. They wound up boycotting it during that time period. So unfortunately, he missed his shot at the Olympics. But there was a time at the summit where the Rockets were playing at the summit when he was going to fight Roberto Duran, and Roberto didn't like the money that he was going to be getting paid for that fight. So unfortunately, that fight never happened. But I have seen Roberto Duran, and that man can punch. I mean, those fists of his were ridiculous.
Well, it's like some of the old school way of training. Like it's funny when we think of Rocky IV, where he goes over to Russia and he does it that old school. Like boxers. So interestingly enough, this apartment, that like it had like some championship boxers in here. I think like not Rocky Marciano, but like John Lewis or whatever, like lived in this apartment for a little while. This was a hub for boxers. The Lewis
Wow.
yeah, it's like there's a huge history of boxing in this apartment and like these apartments here where the boxers kind of lived here and stuff like that. But they would train by like, there was a place, Fasano Block is right down the street here, and they would train by picking up cinder blocks.
That's
like
awesome.
That was part of the thing.
That is awesome.
What that does is it's not that you're lifting weights, because it's kind of like lifting weights, but the cinder would create calluses, not just on the front of your hands, but on the back of your hands too. So it's like when you shook somebody's hands, like, and a lot of times, and there's lots of different stories, but they had to, figure out ways to get motion in their fingers because the calluses were so thick. Yeah. So they have to be creative, to be able to kind of do that. There were a couple of ways that I'm not going to discuss here because that would bring this in a whole different direction. But like that's like when you have calluses on the front and the back of your hands, when you shake somebody's hand or you hit somebody, like you just knock on the door, it's like that's just what it sounds like. You know what I mean? And it's just it was just a whole different feel. You shake a boxer's hands nowadays and they're soft.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Right. You know what's interesting? Robert Duran Jr., his son, boxed for a good amount of time. And then now he's into bare knuckle fighting. And his nickname is El Gorilla. And I'm telling you, man, this guy's fast, and I would not get in the ring with that guy. He is super, super fast, and he's very strong. You can see the muscles in him. And I can only imagine what bare knuckle fighting, what that feels like. I mean, that's incredible.
Well,
I mean,
it's just like growing up in high school when you got into a fight. When you got into a fight, you didn't have boxing gloves on. Yeah, you got hit.
A lot of fights as a kid.
I bet you did, Bo.
I mean,
no, I think we actually talked about that one time.
But to get back to the Ronda Rousey situation, it's a money grab, and that's part of. Like, listen, you could say what you want about Jake Paul. Jake Paul is taking what my buddy Damon Feldman was doing with celebrity boxing, where he was getting celebrities to get 18-ounce gloves on and kind of like it was almost like the big pillow type of gloves to box other celebrities. He's doing it in a different way where it's like, okay, he's getting the has-beens. I mean, because listen, not that Ronda is like a has-been. I mean, but she's older now.
It's been a decade.
Yeah.
And she's had a kid. I mean, her body's been through a lot.
And she did her time with the WWE. And I mean, like, she's not the fighter she was when she was the reigning champ. But at the same time, the fact that they're older, I think, kind of favors Rousey because her thing was arm bars and grappling, right? So I think that them being a little bit older actually favors her in this fight a little bit. Because Carano was, she was more of that boxing, coming at you, which I don't know what kind of training they've been doing.
Right.
But,
I always felt like Ronda was not necessarily a great boxer, but she had great ground game.
she was
watching
solidly
her.
a ground game person.
Yeah.
As soon as she got in with like Holly Holm, who was a great kickboxer, she got smoked.
She did very much.
Yeah, no, it's if she could get it to the ground, there was a good chance she was going to win because she was great at the ground game.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I have never been to a UFC fight, but I do enjoy watching it, and I do want to go. My dad used to take me to the Golden Gloves a lot, and I enjoy watching Golden Gloves bucket because I like amateur fighting. You can see a lot of technique. And I really appreciated the Golden Gloves. And matter of fact, Termite actually did a lot of Golden Glove boxing with kids coming up, and then he got into Young Holy. And Young Holy was Evander Holyfield's son. Now, I don't know where that career went with Young Holy. I just know that he was training him for a long time. And I think Young Holy was doing decently, but I don't know if he never got to the level of where his father was, right? I mean, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. And a lot of people did like her in WWE. I'm not a wrestling fan, so I didn't see any of it, but it sounded like she did well.
Yeah.
So.
Ken Shamrock was a hell of a guy, man. I mean, that guy's technical game was on point. And he was strong, too. I mean, incredible strong.
Yeah, I mean, the fights are fun. If you're at the fights, whether it's UFC or any of the lower level fighting, like it's good times. And here in Seattle, you can get one of the casinos generally has something going on. Just about any given month. So, there's definitely like, if you like going to fights, there's ones you can find for sure, even if the UFC isn't coming.
Huh.
Well, I tell you, if you want to watch somebody who can take a punch and get into Taylor Starling, look her up. She had one of the craziest looking faces after a fight where she was a bare knuckle boxer. Look at a before picture and then look at the after picture of she took this amazing beating, the swelling, the cuts, whatever. And just, it's like I said, very pretty girl. And then you will see her after the fight, and she's sitting there. Hey, it was a great fight. I loved it, and like she's like swollen in every part of her face.
Yeah,
like those are the things.
She looked like Rocky Balboa when he got done fighting Apollo Creed or something. It's all jacked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So speaking of bare knuckle boxing, I don't know if you saw the video. It was one that I thought about trying to share, but then I figured YouTube might actually block it for a long form video. Oh wow, yeah. So I have seen her fight. So yeah, she does look like that almost every time. But this guy caught a square shot to the crown of the nose, and it caved.
Yes, I saw that. Gruesome.
Obviously I did not bring that video onto the show because I didn't want this show to get blocked by YouTube. But
actually, I think they had to stop that fight because they were afraid that he might.
He just knelt down and put his hand up like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I think he knew that when he couldn't breathe through his nose anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean,
no, it caved. You saw the indentation, and it was like he had to stop there because if an accidental punch, that got anywhere close to that could have killed him. Like an immediate, it would have been an immediate thing. So it's like oof.
I mean, I've never seen it cave there.
Right.
Like I've seen noses broken tons of times. But for it to cave at the crown there, and I mean, for it to do that, it means it also busted the orbital socket and everything. I mean, so like that is, I'd be interested to see what the X-rays show for that. Because
see what it looks like now. Like what was the permanent damage done?
Well, I mean, this just happened.
No, I'm saying after it's all done. I want to see how he looks now after when all the healing has occurred. Because I got to imagine that's some structural damage that you can't fix.
Well, I mean, you can, right? Like but it's going to be some surgery. Like he may be done as a fighter.
Yeah, like I now he becomes a trainer from here on out. You know, like that's 100%. It. Like you're not even sparring. You know, it's
that's what the doctors are like. Another hit, and it may not be good.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of I 100% understand that type of stuff. It's a brutal sport. These are brutal things. I mean, I watched one video from bare knuckle boxing. The guy came in, the bell rings, he connects with him like right here. Guy goes down. The ref stopped it. The bell was still like kind of in the air, kind of. You know what I mean? That it was and the ref stopped it. Now, he knocked the guy down, and the guy went down. He did a flip and then was like ready to go back again. And the ref's like, no. He's like, what do you mean, no? Like, the guy got me. He got a good hit. You know what I mean? But ref's like, nope, no bueno.
Yeah.
So.
I think they kind of almost have to when you get hit like that. I mean, you may think you're good to go, but internally you may not be.
Well, and that's exactly it. You are signing up for your own situations when you get into those fights. You're not. That's why I've been asked a couple of times to do celebrity boxing, and I won't even do that. I mean, not only because one, I'm not a boxer. You know what I mean? The only time that we ever did any type of boxing was when I was in the Navy, and because Marines and Navy guys don't have the best rapport with each other, and you're stuck on a ship, to stop fighting, you create sanctioned call out with boxing gloves where everybody's watching. You got the Marines on the one side, you got the Navy guys on the other side, and you're going up and boxing against each other, and it's all very thick, and we shake hands and leave at the end. It's everybody's all excited, and it stopped fights on the ship. That's what it was meant to do.
I used to love heckling Marines when I was on the USS Blue Ridge. I heckled the hell out of them. They'd be getting yelled at by their little supervisors. And I'd be like, look at this guy. And I'd be heckling him all the way down the. Yeah.
So I will tell. I'll tell. I love telling this story. There was a guy who was in my division when I was in the Navy. I was an electrician on board the USS Portland. And I'll never forget his name. His name was Andre Freeland. You could probably look him up. But he was like a junior Gold Gloves boxer. And we played the. That you get like that's how much space you get, and you get the heart punch.
Oh, sure.
And literally, and I took 3 of them. Like he does one, I do one. He does one, I do one. Now I'm not a boxer, but I've got big fists. So and I was able. The 3rd time I took one, I went down to a knee. He's like. I am surprised that you were able to handle the first 2. It was just like it was like getting hit with, lots of force right in your heart. You're not, that's not a good thing to have happen to you. You know what I mean?
Since we're talking about bare knuckle fighting, Pags, this is a true story. And I don't get into fight. I really don't. I'm not really that kind of person. But when I first got on board my ship, now I was a radioman. All right, I'm in communications, right? And my supervisor says, at that time I was a seaman, so it was Seaman McMahon. Can you please go down and get me a BT punch? And I'm thinking, like, okay, I don't even know what the hell a BT person is.
A BT punch.
I had no idea. I'm thinking, now I know what a punch is, and maybe he's gonna tap something in one of the machines. All right, yeah, I'll go get you a BT punch. I go down in this engine room, and I seen a man, Pags, that was so large and so huge. I mean, you got big hands. This dude had to cut his shirt right here on both sides just to get his arms into the uniform. They didn't make
BTs are no joke. Boiler techs are no joke.
So I go down there, and I said, excuse me, my supervisor, my LPO, sent me down here to get a BT punch. Do you happen to have one? I got one of those. Hold on a minute. He turns around. Hey, he turns around. He turns and now he's facing this little workbench area. And all I know was when he turned around, everything went black.
Yeah, no doubt.
They said that I hit the wall behind me. And if you know anything about a ship, everything's metal and everything has pointy edges. And I had to get 7 stitches on the back of my head because I if you remember the phones had prongs that came out. And if you hit those prongs, you're screwed. Anyway, long story short, my LPO said, has anybody seen Simon McMahon? I sent up for a PT, and I ain't seen it in a hot minute. Yeah, he's in medical getting stitches. And he's like, oh, really? And I said, got you, LPO. It was arm one.
I'll be honest with you. Even still, like not for nothing, somebody should have gotten an Article 13 on that one. You know?
Oh yeah.
Hey, listen, you're not supposed to hit you in the head. You're supposed to hit you where you would have your ESWAS. Like that's what you did. You like when you get your sub or whatever. Like anybody who ever was a submariner or got their ESWAS, they got this pin right here, and everybody else who was their submariner or had their ESWAS, let you know you had 2 bruises right there on where the pin backs were, because you would do that. But so he wasn't supposed to hit you in the head. He's definitely supposed to hit you in the chest. The fact that he hit you in the head, that's definitely no. You know, like I don't care how.
No bueno, but you know, and Pax, you know how I know, man. The brotherhood is a brotherhood. That this, and this. Yeah, should they've happened? Probably not. But you know what? At the end of the day, man, I still love the Navy. I still enjoyed my time, man. I enjoy going across the equator, duct taping toilet paper rolls to my elbows and my knees, because everything is serrated on a ship. Everything is serrated, and if you don't do that, you're going to be hurting so bad. But
I'm a shellback too. I'm a shellback.
Man.
And you can bet on how much brain damage Jay has by using the QR code on the screen. Up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. In case you bet that he has none, because you will definitely lose that bet. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, you can use the QR code on the screen here. Free 5-day pass any of the 3 True Fusion gym locations: Bellevue, Ballard, University Village, Pilates boot camp, yoga bar, and more. Find your edge. True Fusion Gym.
I don't know if I sell 7 of them, but I sure sold a good portion of them. I'll tell you
exactly. That. I'll take that.
I'll take Absolutely. That. Yeah, I would too, man.
Yeah, everybody's taking the over.
I've got a lot of interesting Navy stories, but I don't have, like I said, it's I'm glad I spent that time, and I have a few people that I am still friends with from all the way back in boot camp and such.
Yeah.
But I don't miss it.
Yeah.
I'd rather go on a cruise where they're feeding me all the time. I can go swimming when I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those types of cruises are great. But there's nothing better than being out in the middle of the ocean and seeing nothing but water. And look it up, and you see, like, you could see the whole, like, Milky Way, because there's no lights.
All things being equal, though, there's some times that boxing glove thing could work out on a cruise ship, because there's some interesting thoughts on that.
I remember, Pags, I don't know if y'all ever did this, but now, again, this goes back to wrestling and bare knuckles and all. There was a time I remember specifically, and if you know about the Navy, it's metal deck, and then they got this light blue linoleum that goes over the metal deck, right? There's no give, there's no cushion, it's just linoleum on top of metal. And we used to call it the Terradome. And when you would have an issue, you go in the Terradome, you hammer things out. A lot of times it was a lot of body slamming on the ground, things like that. And I remember one time, I'll never forget this. Now you got to put a code in to get into the door. And so it was like, and you open up the little window, and when I opened up the little window, it was a chaplain. And I'm like, yes, sir, how can I help you? I don't know what's going on in here, but I hear it down there, and I can't sleep. Whatever's going on, could y'all just stop? And I'm like, yes, sir. No more Terradome until tomorrow.
That makes sense.
But man, we had some good times, man. We did, man. We really had some good times.
Yeah, any top side on a Navy ship has all got that rhino coating. for lack of a better word to call it, because you can't slip. Navy ships are wet. Ships get wet, and you can't be slipping on a metal surface. So everyth's rhino coated, and
well, I tell you, those were good days,
fun stuff, good stuff.
But let me ask you a question. Switching back over to football, just real quick, if we can. Trayvon Diggs got released by the Cowboys, goes over to the Packers, gets released immediately, pretty much after that. Do you think he's done in football, or do you think that there's still going to be some place that he will make it a reemergence?
So someone will take a flyer on him. The problem with Diggs is he is a boom or bust kind of guy. So he's out of position a lot, and it worked out the first couple of years because he could make up the ground and make an interception. The problem is he'd also get burned for touchdowns. Yes. Well, when you look at him over the last couple of years, the turnover part of his game hasn't been as prevalent. Him getting burned has been at the same clip, though. And so he'll get a shot somewhere. Like someone will take a shot, but it's going to be for cheap. And and he better hope he has a great year.
Yeah, he's definitely he needs a prove it year.
His biggest issue is the fact that his brother is also in the league. I think that there's a brotherly competition that just naturally occurs probably between them, and that's why he doesn't play his position 100% correctly. Like he's always playing against his brother, and some of these receivers are not his brother. You know what I mean? So that's why he can get beat on double moves. That's why he can get beat on certain things. It's just that he's taking a chance. And like you said, that one year he got 7 interceptions in 6 games.
Exactly.
Like he was going crazy. And then they realized, like, hey, if you do a little fake and then throw it even his way, you've got him.
Right. Because he bites on it. He bites on the first move every time. So if you give him that little stutter step and he bites on the stutter, then yeah, you're right. I've seen him do that. I've seen that happen where he gets burnt like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right.
And that's why I said he's a boom or bust kind of talent, because he's not in the position he's supposed to be in a lot. And it's fine if the turnover is coming, but when it's not, you're a liability. Yeah.
Sweat for Johnson. I don't know. That's interesting to me, but
yeah, I saw that too. I didn't know if that was really going through, but I saw that as well.
Yeah. So from what I understand, Johnson is a solid guy, though. So
yeah,
that would make some sense.
It's because he's getting back with Salah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because these are 2 bad teams trading a guy. It's like doesn't really register even on my radar, but
no, and that's why I said it's because he was Salah's guy.
Let me ask you this: obviously, Salah didn't have a lot of success in New York, but we all know that franchise is not set up for success. Honestly,
yeah.
Well, do you think now that he's with Tennessee? Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Do you think with Tennessee though that this version now of him is going to have much more success? And do you think he can rebuild this team and get them being competitive?
They look like they're interested in actually turning it around in Tennessee. So I think he has a better opportunity there, right? You've asked too many questions today. I do think that he has a better shot there. And it's not like he wasn't successful with the Jets. They just couldn't get an offense together, but they also never gave him a quarterback. Like, how many teams do well with no quarterback? None. It's kind of the most important position on the field. His defense was elite for most of the time he was there. He's a defensive coach. He needed an OC and he needed his GM to give him something to work with on the offense. I mean, you had a race car in Garrett Wilson. You didn't have anybody that could throw him the ball.
Yeah.
Like, what did you want him to do? And then you go out and your GM gets you Aaron Rodgers, and you're 4 snaps into his tenure there, and and he's done.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know what you wanted Salah to do. So, so I don't think his time there was really indicative of him being a bad coach or anything like that. So I thought he deserved another swing at it. It's what I think about Stefanski too. It's like, oh, you're with the Browns. The odds of success there, incredibly low, right? Because you're trying to overcome a franchise that historically is just awful. So, right. I mean, I expect him to have much better luck with Atlanta.
I'd love to be in those interviews. No, obviously, Aaron Glenn now, is the coach over with the Jets. Didn't really have a good first year. Not that we were expected to have a good year, but I wonder when, like Aaron Glenn or Salah, when they sit down and they're being interviewed, you ask them questions just as much as they ask you questions. You got to fill them out like they're filling you out. And I wonder what those questions, if I wasn't going to be a fly on the wall in that interview, because I would love to know the types of questions and answers that are being fielded in these interviews because of the lack of direction that's gone on with the Jets.
The hardest thing when you are covering a team that's losing all the time is you're in that press conference and you're like, how do I reword this same question again? Because you can only ask, what did you see? What happened here? Why is it going wrong? Because, I mean, could you guys go win a game so I can ask you some different questions? But,
yeah.
I mean, and it hasn't mattered the coaching staff, hasn't hardly mattered the players. I mean, they haven't fielded a good team since Rex Ryan was there.
Right.
That's been a minute.
It's been a long minute because Mark Sanchez was still in the league during that time.
That's what I'm saying.
But at that point, again, this goes back to, your structure of your franchise. Yep. And this is the problem with the Jets and even with maybe Cleveland and stuff like that, is that ownership stinks.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. You can't overcome that kind of dysfunction, which is why the Browns have been the way they are. The Jets are the way they are. I mean, when you have a jersey that has 40 quarterback names, do you honestly think that all of those guys were busts? No, right? Like, if you have that many people come in and fail, there is a common denominator, and it's not the player.
Right. Well, I mean, look, they had Geno Smith, right? Yep. Goes on to Seattle. Great success at some point when he gets to Seattle. You got Darnold out of there. Goes to Seattle, goes on and wins a Super Bowl. Yep. These are the same guys that were with the Jets organization when they made their debut. I mean, that just tells you right there that they're not doing well.
Well, I also kind of think, let's face it as well. I think it also goes back to some of these quarterbacks are drafted for the right reasons, but are put into the position too early. Like that, there is something to be said for riding the bench for 2 years. That's what you should do. That you got to learn the position. You got to learn the speed. It's what have you done for me right now, all the time. So, and that's some of the issues that that happen. And I think that was like Darnold was drafted for the right reasons. That being said, it's no good because he needed to have a couple years in the league to figure out the league. You got to get the wisdom. You don't have that. Not everybody is Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? It's
those guys all
even John Elway.
Yeah, all those guys sat.
Yeah, lost Super Bowls. Was getting there and couldn't get past certain levels. And then it wasn't until the last 2 years of his career that he won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And so.
No, Pat Mahomes, he was behind Alex Smith. So there is some benefit to sitting and learning. The problem is the league doesn't care about development anymore. It is, you could win a Super Bowl last year. If you struggle that next year, you're on the hot seat. Like this league is so quick to fire guys. They don't even have time to develop anybody anymore. Because they're just trying to stay employed.
That's part of the issue. That is really, that's the biggest part of the issue. It's not really even anything else beyond that. It's just that you got to give time. You have to allow a couple of years of development. These are college kids who are starting. You know, you do not make a guy who just came out of college the CEO of your company. He's got to still cut his teeth. Everybody has got to cut their teeth. It doesn't matter what they do. Everybody's got to learn. Everybody's got to make those mistakes.
Yeah, you need that experience. There are certain things that you can learn, but there's a lot of things you have to learn on, just through experience. And I think that's what makes really, if you're able to, learn from that experience. I mean, that you can't replace experience. That's invaluable.
Well, and I mean, we've all worked jobs where we had somebody that was our boss that never did the job that they were trying to direct us to do. Right. Yeah. And you could always tell the difference between a manager that did your job before, where they're all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, okay, what you're saying makes sense. When it's someone that's never done the job, you're like, yeah, I mean, you obviously have never done this job. Because
I have had managers in the Navy and I've had managers in the Army that I'm thinking, how did they get this rank? How? What did they do?
Hey, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Sometimes.
Welcome to the media world. It's man, similar stuff. I see people with credentials all the time that I can't seem to get. And then you get questions like, hey, is this a must-win game in the Super Bowl? I'm gonna go like,
wow.
Are you planning to win? I mean, yeah.
I can just see a guy coming in there and saying, you asked this question. Yanks the credential. Get the hell out.
And if you do yank that credential, just ship it over here. Because I got to say, when I'm getting denied for credentials and then I hear questions like that, I'm like, what are we even doing right now?
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
That being said, that does get us to the top of the show. Appreciate all of you tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. Otherwise, we'll get you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everybody.
Love you, Donna.